Hello everyone, and we are here for the one last time in R18. The last race, and we are waiting of course for the championship battle between Pacefen and Vilzu. There is literally no point separating them. Both have got 151 points, so whoever finishes in front will be crowned as a champion of season 3 in F2. So we are now moving into Brazil and we are just about to start the season finale in Brazil. So after 17 races, of course, Pacefen versus Vilzu, 151 points. The third placed Natik with 137 points actually still has got a chance for the championship, but we've got rain. We've got rain here in Brazil in qualifying, so it's gonna get even more interesting in terms of whoever will line up in pole position. And also in constructor standings we've got Ferrari with 296 points and behind them Red Bull of course with 278 points, so that's 18 points separating these two constructors. So that's gonna be close here today in this race, so lots of emotions for sure. And we've got the first man on track. It's gonna be a Toro Rosso of Libenov, and we can see the intermediates in everyone's car, and so we'll just follow Libenov throughout his outlap on the Interlagos circuit Jose Carlos Pache. Quite a short track, but the second sector is really technical, so and really slow in terms of the other two sectors, which are quite fast. So you just have to find the style and go through all these corners without making mistake. Both Pacefen and Vilzu currently in the pits. No one is going out. Actually, I can see the Ferrari, so Pacefen is actually going out already. And Libenov is just about to start his first hot lap. He's followed by one of the Mercedes. His hot lap, and he's going into the Senna S. The first two corners. Lacey is already disqualified from the session for blocking the pit lane, so the pit exit is actually quite it isn't wide, so it's really easy to make a mistake in there, as Libenov is finishing the first sector and is coming into the turn 4. Now we are going up into turn 6, which is the double apex turn, going uphill, and now into 3 hairpins, one after the other. You have to be really careful with the throttle through these turns. And Libenov is now ending the second sector. He's going down into Gnievko. 59.8 currently for him, and he's going out of the last real turn on this track. Now he is going onto the start finish straight, and Libenov is crossing the line, and it's 1:17.7, and J-Doc goes a little bit slower 6 tenths slower. We got one of the Renaults, it was Grunty Boy, who is third at the moment. And then we will have one of the Red Bulls, it's gonna be Vilzu, but Vilzu is actually starting his hot lap. So let's switch to Pacefen, and he's on his hot lap. And he's going through the second sector. Now 1 minute point 5, so it's slower than Libanov after 2 sectors, but maybe now, maybe he's gonna be by faster in the straight line, but he made a mistake, and there was a little slide for him, and now Paceman crosses the line and he goes P5 only for him, behind Gui. So now we will go with Vilzu, as also Jair and Champ beats his teammate by 1/10 of a second, and Jair is behind the 2 Ferraris. Edzax goes into second, so currently Libanov leads with actually the half a second of advantage on the Edzax in second place. Now Vilzu is finishing the third sector, so a little bit faster than Payson, I think. Grunty Boy meanwhile goes fastest, 2 tenths faster than Libanov, and now we are waiting for Vilzu. Is he gonna be faster than Pacefen? Yes, he goes P3 just ahead of his teammate. So currently Vilzu in P3 and Pacefen only P8 at the moment. One of the Hasses is finishing the lap. It was Otapa, who goes 9th. And then we've got Team Mats, I think. Yes, it's Team Mats, and Team Mats goes into 6th. So Pacefen is falling down on the board. We've got a yellow flag. Is it Pacefen? Yes, it is. So he's got lots of troubles in this corner, as on his hot lap he also nearly spun. But fortunately he avoided hitting the wall then, and now it looks like his front wing is fine, but he has to go into the pit lane and hope for a better lap next time. We have also got Tahiti ending his hot lap. His teammate is currently on provisional pole, and Tahiti goes second. So we've got 2 Renaults currently in the front row. So that's a very good result for the Enstone team. And now Mikulitsi splits them both. So Mikulitsi currently second. There's also Loki Chips and Omar Spaghetti still on hot laps. Omar Spaghetti is just about to end his hot lap. Omar Spaghetti goes 15th. So currently quite a poor results for Williamses. And now we are waiting for Loki Chips. Still 3 drivers without the time, but Loki Chips and Natik are already on track. And we are still waiting for Wojtinho, if he's going out. And now Loki Chips will be crossing the line, and he goes into 9th position, between J-Dog and Team Mats. So yes, is there anyone? So everyone Grunty Boy has left the session. He's currently leading, so hopefully he will be back, and we will see a battle for the pole position. Still 10 minutes to go in this session, and Pacefen, who is on outlap, currently P14, and Vilzu P6. So if it would be over now, Vilzu would be a champion. But we still have got a long race to go. Grunty Boy has joined, and we still don't know what is gonna be the weather during the race, and who is gonna have the better setup for the weather in the race. And we are still waiting for Natik, our winner from Japan from last week, and that result put him in third place, and he's still in contention for the victory in the driver standings. And Natik currently P8, but Natik needs a victory here, and both Vilzu and Pacefen have to be out of the points. As we'll now switch to Pacefen, as he's on hot lap and he's improving by 4/10. Vilzu is also on out lap. And let's see the second sector for Pacefen, half of the second of improvement, so it's gonna be around 1:11.3 this time without any troubles going on to the starting straight. But now he's going on the grass, and Pacefen is now crossing the line to take P7, so just ahead of his rival, 2/1000 of a second ahead of Vilzu. But Vilzu is still on out lap. He's now starting his second hot lap. We've got Brett improving himself and going up into P5. We've got also Champ in P3 still. So it's Renault, Racing Point, Ferrari, and another Renault in the top. But now Jair goes fastest, so the track is surely improving. As Jair goes 2 times faster than Granty Boy, 1:17.394. Actually, the fastest time currently. So let's switch to Vilzu, but he's currently in P12 and he's going through the second sector. Now the last hairpin, and let's see if the Red Bull driver is improving. Yes, he is, by nearly 2/10. Edzax currently goes second, behind Jair and Vilzu. Can he improve his previous best and jump ahead of Pacefen? Yes, he can. Vilzu goes 6th. So currently good result for him. Pacefen still behind his rival, but I think that he's going for yet another lap. Oh, another slide on the exit of turn 5. So that's another lap. Another lap ruined, and Mikluzi meanwhile goes fastest. By 10 1/1000 of a second. So good stuff for the Racing Point currently in this race. As we've got Granty Boy also finishing his lap, and he goes faster, so he retakes his provisional pole and he maintains in the first position. So currently again Renault on pole, and then Racing Point and Williams in P3. Vitinho still sitting in his garage, so he's probably not going anywhere. 5 minutes to go. As we've got Omar Spaghetti, who is really struggling. He's 8/10 down. We've got also Alet improving and going into P9. He's 4 positions ahead of his teammate Tim Mats. So currently only one McLaren in top 10. And Omar Spaghetti goes into 17th place ahead of Gui. and Champ is also starting his another hot lap, so we'll follow him through the Senna S. Now round at turn 3 and into the Città del Lago, and the first sector 1/10 of improvement currently for Champ, our winner from Australia. And now going up, there is also McLaren following him, and Champ through these corners, really patient. And can he put himself up into maybe even pole position? He has to disturb a little bit Vilzu. He can't let Vilzu take a high position if Ferrari want to take both championships, because it's still not done yet. Champ is, we've got Omar Spaghetti retiring, and Champ doesn't improve, so he just missed out on his previous best. Probably that Williams of Omar Spaghetti made him he had to avoid the stranded car of Omar Spaghetti, and he probably lost some time there. But now he's improving again after the first sector. Now going into the second one, of course, but the question is if he has got enough ERS to end this lap. Vilzu is also starting his another hot lap. Paceman still sitting in the pits. No, he's actually going out now. Waiting has retired. Okay, so he's not gonna score any time here, and we are now waiting for Paceman and Vilzu. Vilzu is already on hot lap, but now Champ, who is improving by nearly half a second, is now crossing the line to take first place, 2/10 ahead of Granty Boy, but it's now gonna be Champ who will be waiting for everyone. For example, for Vilzu, who is in the second sector, but it's gonna be Edzax, who doesn't improve actually, so he probably won't beat Champ here. Jair, for example, can he put himself up in the first row? No, he can't, so we are still waiting for Granty Boy, of course. Vilzu is improving by it's only 7/100 of a second, as Vilzu is now crossing the line, and he goes and he stays actually 6th. So I don't think that he will improve yet another time. The qualifying is only 1 minute to go. So now let's switch to Paceman, as he's only P14 and he's going slowly. So Paceman is gonna stay in P14 and he's not gonna improve his time, and he's gonna be forced to start from the back of the grid. So that's a very bad information for the Ferrari, as Paceman is left down in 14th, and Granty Boy goes first, half a second faster than Champ. Brilliant result for the Renault driver, and so I think that it's gonna be over, I think. At least Jair is still on hot lap. Everyone are retiring, so Jair is improving. He's close to his previous best, so we will follow him. The qualifying is of course over, but Jair is still pushing. He has got the Ferrari, of Paceman. going off the track. Spaceman has retired, so it's gonna be a really difficult race. Just Clean Bread into second place ahead of Champ. So we're still waiting for Mikulitsi and for Jair. They are the only drivers who still can make something in the top, as Mikulitsi is improving, same as Jair. So let's see. The first to cross the line will be Mikulitsi, as he rounds the final corner, and he's crossing the line to take, or actually to stay in fourth, and Jair goes third. So he goes into the second row on the start for the Brazilian Grand Prix here in ERO, and the last race of the season. So as we can see, Granty Boy, of course, brilliant result, 3 tenths ahead of Just Call Me Brett in Renault in first. So Brett is completing the first row. Then we've got Jair and Champ, Edzax and Mikulitsi, Tahiti and Vilzu, who is fighting for the championship in 8th place, and it's enough because Pacefan is down in 14th. Then we've got, of course, Alet and Timmats, Loki Chips and Libenov, Natik and of course Pacefan, only 14th for him at the moment. Then J-Dog, Otapa, Omar Spaghetti, Gui, Voitinho and Lise without the time. So we are now ready for the race, and it's sunny, so it should be a clean race, but we'll see what is gonna happen as we will head on the track. So about the top two, of course, whoever finishes ahead, Pacefan or Vilzu, will be crowned as a champion of the Season 3 in ERO. Natik, as he's losing 14 points to the top two, if he wins, Vilzu and Pacefan can't be higher than P5. So Natik needs a win here, and there is also Timmats and Champ actually in the battle, but they are 18 points down, so they need a very bad result for both Pacefan and Vilzu. So it's all about Pacefan and Vilzu, and at the moment Vilzu in 8th, ahead of Pacefan, who is of course in 14th. Pacefan with needs to improve his position, of course, as he's starting on hards, the only man on hards on the start of the race. Vilzu is on softs, so he will be faster. More drivers are on softs, only Mikulitsi, Libenov, Otapa and Voitinho on mediums, and Pacefan of course on hards, so he's going with a very long first stint to probably take softs for the last couple of laps. And now we are also waiting who is gonna win this race. The last race, Granty Boy is in the pole position and Brett just behind him. So no one of championship contenders in top 7. At least we are counting Champ, as he still has got a mathematical chance to take the championship. Then Champ is only 4th. And now, as drivers are lining up, we are now waiting for the red lights for the one last time in this season. And here we've got 1 red light, 2, 3, 4 and 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go for the last one time in this season. In season 3 we are on good start for Granty Boy, good start for Just Bread, and as he's taking the east side line on Granty Boy, but Granty Boy stays in front. There is also Jair spinning out and he's gonna be in dead last. What is going on? Payson is also losing positions. Vilzu is up into 5th. And down the order we got, of course, Payson lost 4 positions on the start. He's down in 18th. So Just Bread and Granty Boy are leading the pack. They both are getting away. Also Tapa overtakes J-Dog to take 13th place. And Lazy is out. Lazy is out of the session and we've got a crash and Payson gets involved. And I think he has got damage. And Wojtinho is also getting involved. He's down in last place at the moment and he has got damage on his front wing. So disastrous race at the moment for Payson. Fortunately no major damage for him at the moment. So he probably still can go with this front wing without changing it. Wojtinho of course with quite a minor damage. So he's probably gonna pit. At the end of this lap we've got a VSC of course after this massive crash. And so we've got Granty Boy leading ahead of Brad, ahead of Edzax, then Champ. Champ who is fighting with Edzax for the P3. Edzax around the outside and they touched. Champ nearly spun but fortunately maintained his go through these corners. We've got also Vilzu at the back of him, but there is also a battle between Racing Point and McLaren. Timmats tries to make a move on local chips. There is Wojtinho and J-Dog both in the pits, so they both are changing front wings probably. As Timmats is closing in on local chips, maybe now down the inside. No, it wasn't the best overtake spot around this track. Tahiti also close to Vilzu. We've got a 4-car battle, 5-car battle actually for P3. As Champ is trying to put the pressure on Edzax. We have to remember that also Ferrari is fighting with Red Bull for the championship in terms of constructors. Currently I think Ferrari is in front because they have got 18 points advantage. So if Champ will stay in this position, Ferrari should be able to stay in the first position, as Champ is trying to make a move around the outside on Edzax. Can he do it through the Senna S? Now he has got the inside and he takes this position from Edzax. So Champ up into 3rd position at the moment, but Edzax now has got a long straight to maybe catch the slipstream behind Champ, and he pulls out, take the outside line, but Champ defends his position. So we've got Champ up into podium position. Also Timmats tried to make a move on Low-K Chips, but he couldn't quite do it, and Low-K Chips stays in 8th. Also still this snake is going. Mikulici lost also quite a couple of positions on the start. No, only 1 position actually, but he started on mediums, so it could be worse. Vilzu of course 3 positions up. It's a brilliant situation for this driver as he's now winning the championship here. Also Gui is overtaking Omar Spaghetti, as the Williams driver probably has got damage. Yes, he has. Jair 11 places down because of his mistake in 1st corner, so very unfortunate for him, down in 14th. Natik also trying to make a move on Libanov around the outside, but he can't quite do it here. Also Toro Rosso, both cars outside of points. Maybe now Natik is closing, but Libanov also has got DRS, so Natik isn't close enough to make a move. Tahiti still close to Vilzu, but Vilzu is gonna be defending for his life to stay in this position, which gives him the championship. So let's see what is Paceman actually doing. He's going behind Omar Spaghetti, but he's down in 17th, so he has to get into the points ahead of Vilzu. That's the most important thing, but he's a long way from this, and he needs a miracle. He needs the safety car for sure, and he needs a very good strategy, as Vilzu is fighting with his teammate Edzax, and he goes down the inside to overtake him, and there's Tahiti also nearly goes into the back of the Red Bull, but fortunately no contact there. But Tahiti still will have the DRS behind both Red Bulls. Vilzu covers the inside, and so Tahiti no chance of overtaking anyone. So Vilzu up into 4th. Now even if Champ would be in the 1st place, oh, now Tahiti goes down the inside of Edzax, as the Red Bull driver made a mistake on the entry of this corner. Now as Vilzu is up into 4th, even if Champ would win, it would be Vilzu who takes the championship. Let's see what is going on at the back of the grid. Jair is trying to make his position, to make him to get back into the top, as he's now just behind Libanov. He's trying to make the move, as the Toros driver has got damage on his front wing, and he goes into the pits. So Jair gets this 12th position. There was someone cutting the Senna S. I don't know who was it, but Edzax has already lost much time to the Tahiti, and this affects on Mikulicki overtaking him, as the Racing Point driver takes the P6, and we've got Libanov in the pits, of course, and he's now at the back of the grid. As Timmaz is still trying to make a move on low-K chips, but he still can't do it, as they are also closing to the Edzax. Who was overtaken by Paceman on his charge into the points. As Timmaz still isn't close enough to attack Low-K Chips. It's Low-K Chips who is closer to attack Edzax, but Edzax defends his position here. But now as they are going onto the back straight, Edzax probably will have DRS. Yes, he has, but he is too far from Mikulicki to get the slipstream, and Low-K Chips goes in. If he wanted to go down the inside, but he couldn't do it, and he stays in 8th. So Edzax this time defends his position. But next lap he will be even further from the racing point of Mikulicki, so it's gonna be harder to defend the 7th position. As there is also Timmaz still trying to make a move on the racing point. There is also Natik at the back, who still has got chance for the championship. But oh, as Alet makes a mistake here, and Natik is gonna surely gain on him. Yes, and Natik is up into points, up into P10. So Alet lost his position, and Low-K Chips is already trying to overtake Edzax, but Edzax still has got the inside line, but it's not gonna be enough to stay in front. But maybe now he makes a switchback, and he is gonna have a DRS down this straight, as they are now going side by side with Timmaz. And it looks like Low-K Chips is gonna stay in front, so Edzax lost 2 positions, and he's down in 9th, and he's now gonna be under pressure from Natik. Already going up the hill, as Natik now takes the outside line on Edzax. They are going side by side, but no, Edzax with the inside line stays in front. But maybe now still Natik breaks later, but no, but this fight is gonna last for a couple of laps for sure. And there is also Alet and Jair at the back. Omar Spaghetti with the 3-second time penalty. Oh, as we've got McLaren of Alet going into the back of Natik, and he also gets a touch from Jair, and he has got damaged front wing, so he has to pit, and unfortunately he's out of this battle. And also Timat is trying to finally make a move on Racing Point around the outside into turn 1. Now he's got the inside line, and he should be in front, but not yet. They are going through the back straight, they are going side by side, and Lokichip with the DRS stays in front. So Lokichip still in front, Timat still can't quite overtake him. And meanwhile Edzax of course also got overtaken by Natik, so Edzax is already down in 10th. As Granty Boy is still leading the race ahead of Brett, and Brett has got nearly 5-second advantage on Champ, as we are now on lap 10 of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Also Natik overtook Timat to take 8th position, and Timat is gonna lose another position. There is Natik going out of the track in turn 1. He missed his braking point by much, and he's down in 11th. Timat has also lost 2 positions here for Edzax and Jair. What has happened here? Alet of course in the pit lane as he's changing his front wing. And now Timat stays behind Edzax, of course. But that was a really strange situation, as Natik made a mistake in turn 1 and he went wide. So he now has to overtake everyone yet again. Alet overtook Libanov for P16, as Jair is now close to Loki Chips. Jair, as he's charging from the mistake on lap 1, is now close to Loki Chips in P7, and the Williams driver will have DRS down this straight, and now he takes the inside line, and it looks like he should be able to take this 7th position. Yes, it is. So Jair up into P7, behind him Loki Chips, who gets a 3-second time penalty. He has got DRS down this straight, but it's not gonna be enough to retake this position, as Jair stays in front. Also Timat can't overtake Edzax. Let's see what is going on between Mikulici and Vilzu, as Mikulici is on mediums and Vilzu is on soft, so Mikulici should be faster than Vilzu in the future, maybe even now. As they are coming onto the starting straight. Is Mikulici close enough to attack the Red Bull? I don't think so. He's still too far. Or maybe he's closing, but not enough. So he's gonna wait probably for the next straight. Is he gonna be closer a little bit? And so now Mikulici opens the DRS. He has got the slipstream, takes the inside line into turn 4. Vilzu doesn't defend, and Mikulici up into 4th. So these tires are starting to work as they should, and next target for him is Champ, going in P3. As it's lap 12 on this Brazilian Grand Prix, and currently no changes here in the fight between Loki Chips, Edzax team and Team Max. And Paceman, our second championship contender, currently in P14, going behind Gui, but he's on hard, so he should be able to go with a long stint here, and maybe some safety car will save his championship hopes. but as these drivers are gonna start the 13th lap, we are in 1/3 of a distance of this race. Edzak is trying to make him for low-key chips, but he's still too far. And now Timats missed his. I don't know what to say, but he went into the back of Edzak, and he's now out of the track. And now he disturbed Otapa a little bit, and he's probably gonna lose a position for Gui, or maybe no, as he has got the DRS. But he lost much time as he nearly went into the back of Red Bull. And so it's now only all about local chiefs and Edzaks. Can Red Bull overtake Racing Point? Oh, and local chiefs gets a hit from behind from Edzaks, but fortunately no major damage for the Red Bull. As probably now Edzaks will make his move. He opens the DRS, but there is still of course Natik behind. But now Edzaks is closing, but it's not enough. It's not enough, so he stays behind. And maybe now as they are going onto the back straight, and now Edzaks another time with the DRS, still not enough. So still not enough. He's low on ERS. Also Timats gets back ahead of Otapa into P11, but he's losing nearly 7 seconds to the next driver, who is Natik. And Logan Chips is getting overtaken by Edzaks finally, or maybe no, because the Racing Point driver, he still has got the inside line and he maintains his position, and so Edzaks still behind. Edzak still behind, still can't find the solution for the problem named low-K chips. And as Edzak goes for an undercut, and he goes into the pit lane, so the first man of this battle to go into the pits after 14 laps. So he should fit mediums, and it should be enough to go to the end. Also Vilzu close to Mikulitsi. As he is leading the race with quite a big advantage on Just Call Me Brett. Also Omar Spaghetti in the pits. And Edzak is going out in free air. So a very good situation for him, as Loki Chips is fighting with Natik. Are they gonna pit? Grunty Boy and Brett aren't pitting. Same does Champ. So everyone are still staying out. And as Edzak pitted, is Loki Chips gonna follow? Yes, he will. So both Low-K Chips and Natik also are going for their stop, and Low-K Chips gets a 5-second time penalty, so that's gonna hurt his championship, no championship, his chances of going finishing ahead of Edzak. And let's see if Edzak is gonna be able to undercut these two, as they are now going out of the pit lane. And Edzak, is it gonna be enough? I don't think so. He's gonna be side by side with Natik on the exit, and he's gonna be even behind Natik. So Edzak lost on his undercut, and he's now behind both Low-K Chips and Natik, and Alet has retired. What happened there? He retired in the pit lane, so we won't know what happened there. And Edzak, unfortunately for him, lost on his undercut. He wasn't able to push fast enough, and so Low-K Chips and Natik ahead of him, but Natik is on softs, so he's gonna be forced to stop once more, and that's a strange situation for him, but maybe that was a strategy. Just calling red with the 3-second time penalty. And as Natik is now trying to make a move around the outside on low K chips, and he does it. He finally does it, and he is now in front of the racing point. But let's see, as low K chips is now gonna have a DRS down the straight. He's pulling out to take the inside line into turn 4, and he does it. He retakes his position, but there is still nothing making a switch back, and as they are now going up the hill, and Natik stays behind, so Loke Chips defended his position brilliantly, and so Natik still behind, but if he wants to, Vilzu in the pits. So Vilzu finally in the pits after 17 laps. So Natik, if he wants his strategy to work, he has to pass Loke Chips as fast as possible. If he wants to do it in this lap, his strategy will hurt him, as he still has got to pit, and Gui in the pit lane, same as of course Vilzu. Let's switch to Natik, as he is now pulling out to take the outside line into turn 1. And can he do it this time? There was a contact. So Loke Chips lost some time, and Edzas also with the penalty. Loke Chips, it looks like he's now too far to retake his position. So Natik finally stays ahead of the racing point, and now he has to push. And so Vilzu still in 8th, and we got Brett in the pit lane. Grantibol is still on, stayed out. It's 18 laps already. It's half the race, to be honest, already. And so Vilzu still in 8th, scoring 4 points, and his main rival Pacefen behind him in 10th. And so that's not looking good for Pacefen, as Vilzu gets a position as Tahiti is in the pits, and Pacefen won't be able to overtake the Renault, so that's another position separating these two fighting for the championship. As Tahiti came out close to Otapa. Otapa currently in P8, scoring 4 points for Haas. His teammate Laser retired from the session on the very first lap. As maybe now Tahiti makes a move down the inside on Otapa, and he is in front. And Grantiboy in the pits. Finally, our leader. So it's now Champ and Mikulici in front. As Champ 3 seconds ahead of Mikulici, but Champ still has to fit the mediums for the second stint, so I think it's the time for him to stop, and Mikulici will fit softs, so probably they both will pit, and oh, we've got a fight between Otapa and Tahiti, and Otapa retakes his position as Natik makes the fastest lap of the race. Grantiboy came out in 3rd position, still ahead of Brett, so the Mercedes undercut didn't work, and so Tahiti, can he fight back? Otapa, he's going down the inside, and he does it. He takes the 6th position again as Boitini overtakes J-Dog, as they are both at the back of the grid on hards. As there is also Jair at the back of Otapa already. And Otapa is gonna be falling down, as his mediums are already 19 laps. 19 laps old, as now Jair makes his move down the inside into turn 1, and Otapa loses another position as he is now gonna be under pressure from pace fan. J-Dog still fighting with Vitinho. Let's show them as they are at the back of the grid without any chances to score points. I think only safety car will save them, as now Vitinho makes a move and takes the 16th position. Their pace is very similar, so they will be fighting probably. As now J-Dog will have DRS down the straight, but he's too far to overtake the Toro Rosso, so he stays in 17. Granty Boy with the fastest lap of the race, 110.0, and Champ still isn't pitting, 21 laps on these tires, and he's currently leading the race. So but I think that's the time to pit for him. So as Mikulicki is also closing, and Granty Boy is still comfortably going for the victory here in Interlagos. Loki chips with the penalty. Pacefan is trying to get closer to Otapa. Pacefan currently 2 points for him, but that's not enough to beat Vilzu in the fight, as Otapa looks like he's really struggling with the tires, and he should be pitting. And so maybe now as they are going onto the starting straight, but it looks like Otapa will be pitting, but he doesn't do it. So Pacefan with the DRS takes the inside line, and he should overtake the Haas, and yes, he does it. And it's now, oh, there is Jair going, no, it's not Jair, it's Omar Spaghetti. I thought it was Jair, but Jair actually overtakes Tahiti to take P6. So Jair now up 1 position, but now Tahiti will fight back probably, but he has got the outside line into this turn as they are still going side by side, but Jair with the inside line, but still Tahiti doesn't give up, and he still stays in front of Williams. And that was a good battle side by side. And Pacefan, of course, oh, Omar Spaghetti hitting the wall, but he's 40 seconds off the pace behind J-Dog. And Pacefan, both Pacefan and Otapa will be now under pressure from Natik as he's on fresh softs. Jair makes a move to finally get ahead of Tahiti, but Tahiti still has got the DRS straight, but he's too far this time. Timas also overtakes Ed Zax for P12. And I don't know what is Champ doing, as he's still going in first place without the pit stops, same as Mikulicki, and the Granty Boy is now really close to them. It's only 1 second. And let's see if Champ is pitting this lap. No, he doesn't. Same as Mikulicki, so 24 laps already on these tires. That's a really good job for Champ. As Tahiti is trying to finally overtake Jair, as he has got in theory faster tires, and he takes this 6th position, but for how much longer? Turn 1, or maybe no, as Otapa fights back and stays in 9th. Jair still stays behind, or maybe no, as he makes a move down this side on Tahiti, and they now will be going again side by side, maybe no, but Jair still manages to stay in front of Renault, and Natik finally overtook Otapa. So he finally made it, and next driver in front of him is Pacefan, who also has got 24 laps on his hards. Granty Boy is already trying to make a move on Mikulitsi around the outside. Granty Boy is unstoppable in this race. He is now in 2nd, and it's only 1 second to Champ. As Champ still didn't beat 25 laps on these softs. Tahiti yet again trying to overtake Jair. He's another time ahead. And there is also Natik close to Pacefan, but not yet. And let's see if Jair is able to overtake Tahiti one more time. As he is closing, and he pulls out to take the inside line into turn 4, and he does it for the 3rd time in a row. Jair manages to stay in front of Tahiti, but they are still going side by side again through turn 6. But it's Jair who stays in front, or maybe no, as Tahiti makes a lunge down the inside, and it looks like now the random driver will be in front, or maybe no. They are switching the positions many times, but it's now Jair with the inside line. But no, we still don't know who is it gonna be in front. They're going side by side into Gnievko, and Tahiti stays in front. So it looks like Tahiti will stay in front now, and the Granty Boy retakes his lead, and he's now ahead of Champ, who still didn't beat. Look at Jair as he's already again closing on Tahiti and passing the Renault driver. They are fighting for their lives, and we've got rain. So that was the thing that Champ was waiting for. We've got rain, so Tahiti now maybe finally will make a move on Jair. No. So that's why Champ was going so long with these tires, and Pacefan also trying to stay on the 8th position, but he can't defend against Natik, as the Alpha driver is too fast, and Natik takes the 8th position. So now Champ is actually in 2nd place, because everyone has to pit. And that's why Tahiti and Natik fitted softs for the 2nd time. But we still have got 8 laps to go in this race, and Tahiti is gaining on Jair. He pulls out to take the inside line, but he is too far to make a move. So Jair still stays in 6th. Maybe now Tahiti with the DRS, but still too far to overtake. Loki Chips is also losing a position to Team Mats, as there is also Edzax close, and he will be trying to overtake these two, but he's too far now. Same as Loki Chips, he will stay behind the McLaren. Tahiti is still fighting with Jair, of course. And let's see if they can give us another fantastic battle. Lap number 29, so we are heading into the last stages of the race and the last stages of the season in ERO. Mikulitsi with the penalty, and Tahiti is gaining on Jair. He's gaining on Jair, but is it gonna be enough to attack into turn 1? No, I think he's gonna wait, and he's gonna make his move on the back straight, as they are now going through turn 3. The rain is still falling, so we will need the intermediate soon. And now Tahiti makes a move down the inside on Jair, and he takes the 6th position finally. But we'll see if Jair can fight back, because I think that this battle isn't over yet. And there is also Brett still closing in on Mikulicki. Both Mikulicki and Champ are waiting for more rain so they can pit and change their tires. Champ already 29 laps on these softs, and he's still going quite fast, and Mikulicki makes a move to go into the pit lane and probably change his tires to fit the intermediates, and he also gets a 5-second time penalty. So that's unfortunate for the Racing Point. And yes, that's intermediates for Mikulicki. And let's see if this gamble will pay off. And Jair, of course, close to Tahiti. Maybe now, maybe on the back straight. DRS still enabled. And now down the inside goes Jair. Is it gonna be enough? Not quite, but they are still going side by side again, and Jair forces Tahiti to go outside out of the track, and so it's Jair ahead again ahead. So Mikulicki came out of the pits in P8. Brett is now close to Champ, as Champ already 30 laps on these softs. Fantastic result for the Ferrari driver, and he's still going quite fast, as he's now finally going into the pit lane for the last 6 laps, and he also gets a penalty, of course. It's really difficult to stop or to slow down into this pit lane, especially when you are going in the rain on soft tires. There is also Tapa on intermediates, and yellow flag sector 3. It was Pacefen who made a mistake on his entry into the pit lane, so he's also trying to make a gamble and to pit before everyone. Edzaks with the penalty. We've got one of the Williamses, it's Omar Spaghetti, struggling in sector 2. As F1 Champ overtakes Tahiti, as Tahiti is out of the track, and he retired from the session, so he probably made contact with Jair, and it made him going out of the track, and probably he picked up some damage, or maybe it was just tires, as track is now too wet for softs. And no safety car currently, and it's still 5 laps to go, and we are still waiting for the top drivers to pit, as Vilzu makes a move to go into the pit lane. He wants to secure his championship, as Pacefen is in 10th position. So let's see where is gonna be Vilzu after his pit stop. Pacefen is ending the second sector, so he's probably too far from Red Bull. Yes, he is, as Vilzu is already exiting the pit lane in P6 to comfortably sit in the position he needs to clinch the title. And DRS is already disabled, so everyone who are on slicks needs to go into the pit lane as fast as possible, as we can see how Grunty Boy is struggling. Our leader comes into the pit lane to change his tires. Can he not get a penalty? Yes, he can. So Brett and Jair will also probably follow, and it's gonna be Champ, maybe even in second place. So we still may have, there was one of the Williamses, it was Omar Spaghetti probably, so we may have at least a Constructors' Championship for Ferrari. Champ gets a 3-second time penalty. Is he gonna be ahead of Brett? Maybe. Probably yes. And yes, so Champ in second place. Good result for him, and Mikulitsi in fourth. Champ with a actually really good strategy with only one stop, going on softs for 30 laps. And so it's now only 4 laps of the season 3 in ERO F2. And yes, we are closing to the closing stages of the season. It was very interesting season, fight to the end for the championship, as Loki Chips is closing only Ben off, but he can't quite attack into the first corner. So yes, very exciting season, many good races during this season, so I am really pleased that I was able to commentate nearly the whole season, nearly every race, and Loki Chips has retired, so that's interesting. I don't know what happened there, but he probably didn't have a chance to get any points. Let's see who has got the fastest lap of the race. Fastest lap of the race belongs to Granty Boy, 110.0, so it's gonna be 26 points for Renault in the last race of the season. 3 laps to go. Edzak is still close to Team Mats, so he may make a move here. Okay, we are back as Jair is on the grass and he's losing a position to Natik, but it probably changes nothing, as Natik needed a victory here to even dream about becoming a champion in season 3. So at the moment, of course, Vilzu is the champion, as he has got 10 points. And he's going ahead of Pacefan. His only rival, Champ, needs a victory. If he would have been ahead of Granty Boy, he would have been a champion, but Granty Boy is just perfect today, no mistakes for him. And it's only 1.5 lap to go in the Brazilian Grand Prix in ERO. And there is also J-Dog still fighting with Voitinho, and they're going side by side through these hairpins. And it's still J-Dog who will stay in front, but Voitinho doesn't give up. And maybe into Gnievko, but no, not quite. And so as Granty Boy is now going through the last corner to start the last lap of the season 3 in still the race in F1, and there is also a fight for the championship. So I'm already inviting you to watch the tomorrow's race in F1 to end. No, actually no, it's not the it's next week, because we've got 1 week. We had a 1 week absence because of the Russian Grand Prix delay. And so we will be next week finishing the season in ERO, also in Brazil in F1, to finally end the season and end the F1 2019 probably in style. As now Granty Boy rounds the Gnievko, and now final 2 corners for him to take the Brazilian Grand Prix victory here in Interlagos. Granty Boy wins the last race of the season. Second place belongs to Champ, who will be close to taking the championship, but not close enough, as Brett comes in third place, Mikulic in fourth, and look who is going now onto the starting straight. It's Prime Vilzu, who wins the championship, the Drivers' Championship, and it's Red Bull on top again. Sixth place belongs to Natik. Then we've got Jair and Pacefan, who will take second place probably in the standings. Team Mats and we've got a very beautiful spin for Otapa. Team Mats and Edzax will complete the points here, as Team Mats in P9 and Edzax in P10, and so we are still waiting for Otapa, who will be the last driver to cross the line in season 3. And here we go. That's the end of F2. That's the end of my commentating in this season. So yes, so Vilzu is the champion of season 3. I will say it again. And yes, exciting season. Thank you for joining us for the whole season. And yes, see you in F1 2020. And we hope that we will start really soon and with another season of ERO racing. So that's your results. Granty Boy in first, Champ in second, and Brett completes the podium. Then we've got Mikulici and Vilzu, who is probably really happy. Then Natik, Jair, Pacefan, Team Mats and Edzax. Then outside of the points, Otapa, Libenov, Wojtinho, Gui, J-Dog, Omar Spaghetti, and the non-finishers Loki Chips, Tahiti, Alet and Leise. So Vilzu is our champion here. We will see who will be the champion next season in ERO F2. It could be you. That's a good advertisement for the league. I hope they will pay me more money. And so that's all for me today. And thank you once again for joining me in F2. That was a real pleasure to commentate the whole season. And thank you and goodbye. See you soon.